Imagine this for a moment. You finally turn 65, you enroll in Medicare, and you feel relieved because after decades of work you believe healthcare is finally predictable, stable, and handled. You tell yourself that at least this part of retirement is under control and no longer something you need to worry about. But then, 1 year later, something feels off. Your Social Security deposit is smaller than you expected, even though nothing in your life changed. You didn't change doctors, you didn't get sick, and you didn't add any new coverage, yet you're paying more than before. So, what happened and where did that money go? Stay with me until the end because there is one Medicare cost that surprises retirees every single year. And once you understand how it really works, you will never look at Medicare the same way again. This isn't about fear or panic, it's about understanding what quietly happens behind the scenes. These surprises don't arrive with warning signs or headlines, they simply show up as deductions. And once they do, many retirees feel stuck because they don't understand why it happened. Welcome to Money Hook, where we protect retirees from quiet financial surprises that slowly squeeze retirement freedom. Before we go any further, let me make one thing very clear so you feel comfortable watching this. I am going to guide you through this in a simple and easy way without complicated mathematics or confusing explanations. There will be no overwhelming charts or technical language that makes you feel lost. This is a friendly and clear discussion about Medicare costs most retirees never see coming. We'll talk in plain language using real-life examples that actually make sense. By the end of this video, you'll understand what's happening and what to watch out for without stress or confusion. Most people believe Medicare works in a very simple way where you turn 65, you sign up, and your healthcare costs finally settle down. They assume that once Medicare starts, the big surprises are over and expenses become predictable. That belief feels logical because Medicare is often described as a safety net. But the truth is, that belief is wrong. Medicare is not a single program with one cost. It is a system with multiple moving parts, and those parts quietly change over time without retirees actively choosing them. Let's clear up the biggest misunderstanding right away because it causes more confusion than anything else. Medicare is not free, even for people who work their whole lives. While many retirees qualify for premium-free hospital coverage, other parts of Medicare still come with ongoing costs. Medicare is divided into Part A for hospitals, Part B for medical services, Part C for Medicare Advantage plans, and Part D for prescription drugs. Each of these parts has its own rules and expenses. But the part that surprises retirees the most year after year is Medicare Part B. Medicare Part B covers doctor visits, outpatient care, tests, preventive services, and medical equipment. Unlike what many people expect, Part B does not come with a fixed price. With Part B, you pay a monthly premium, an annual deductible, and usually 20% of the cost for services after the deductible. What shocks retirees is that this premium changes every single year. You don't renegotiate it, and you don't opt into the increase, it simply happens. And those increases quietly compound over time. In 2026, the standard Medicare Part B monthly premium increased to $200.90, up from $185 the year before. That may not sound dramatic at first, but it adds up to more than $200 extra per year for one person. The annual Part B deductible also rose to $283, meaning retirees must pay more out of pocket before Medicare starts sharing costs. These increases don't feel overwhelming in a single year, but over 10, 15, or 20 years of retirement, they quietly drain income retirees believed was secure. This is where many retirees feel confused because Social Security is also supposed to rise over time. In 2026, Social Security beneficiaries received a cost of living adjustment, commonly called COLA, of about 2.8%. That averaged roughly $56 more per month for many retirees. But higher Medicare premiums consumed a large portion of that increase. In some cases, Medicare took almost all of it. That's why so many retirees say they got a raise but don't feel any difference. Now we come to the Medicare cost that blindsides more retirees than anything else. And that is IRMAA. IRMAA stands for Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount. And it surprises people because it feels unexpected and unfair. If your income is above certain levels, Medicare charges extra premiums on top of your standard Part B and Part D costs. The most frustrating part is that Medicare does not look at your current income. It looks at your tax return from 2 years ago. That means a one-time income event can follow you long after it's gone. Selling property, taking a large IRA withdrawal, or realizing investment gains can all trigger higher Medicare premiums years later. In 2026, the standard Part B premium starts at $200.90 per month. But with IRMAA, it can rise as high as $689.90 per month. Part D also adds a monthly surcharge that can exceed $90. That adds up to thousands of dollars per year that many retirees never planned for. IRMAA feels especially painful because it is automatic and difficult to reverse. Many retirees don't feel wealthy when they are charged these higher premiums. They often say they didn't know Medicare cared about income. But Medicare does care, and it cares more as income rises. And because the charge is based on older tax returns, the surprise often arrives when retirees least expect it. By the time the deduction appears, the damage is already done. Even after premiums are paid, Medicare still requires out-of-pocket spending. In 2026, retirees must first meet the $283 Part B deductible before coverage begins. After that, Medicare generally pays only 80% of approved costs. That means you are responsible for the remaining 20% with no automatic cap. Under Original Medicare, hospital stays under Part A also involve deductibles and daily coinsurance. One bad health year can quickly cost thousands even with Medicare coverage. Prescription drug costs add another layer of uncertainty that retirees often underestimate. Medicare Part D plans change every year, including which drugs are covered and how much they cost. Even with improvements to drug cost caps, retirees still face premiums, deductibles, and coinsurance. A medication that was affordable one year can suddenly become expensive the next. That's why reviewing drug plans during open enrollment is not optional. It is necessary to avoid surprises. Many retirees turn to Medicare Advantage hoping it will simplify everything. Sometimes it helps, but sometimes it creates new problems. While some Advantage plans advertise low or zero premiums, they often come with restricted networks and higher specialist copays. Benefits can also change from year to year. What looks cheaper on paper can become more expensive in real life if your health needs change. Medicare Advantage is not automatically better, it is simply different. Another costly surprise is late enrollment penalties. If you miss your enrollment window for Part B or Part D without qualifying coverage, Medicare adds a permanent penalty to your premium. This is not a one-time fee, it is a lifetime increase. Many retirees only discover this after enrollment is complete and the deduction appears. By then, there is usually no way to remove it. This is one of the most frustrating Medicare surprises of all. Medicare costs surprise retirees every year because premiums rise. Income rules matter more than expected, and healthcare inflation never slows down. Many retirees stop reviewing Medicare once they enroll, assuming nothing important will change. But Medicare is not a set-it-and-forget-it system. It requires attention every year. Without that attention, small changes quietly stack up and create stress later. Understanding this is key to protecting retirement income. This is not about fear. It is about preparation and awareness. Retirees who avoid surprises understand IRMAA, plan income carefully, review plans each fall, and budget for deductibles and coinsurance. They don't eliminate healthcare costs, but they eliminate the shock of unexpected ones. That difference alone brings peace of mind. Medicare works best when retirees stay informed rather than hopeful, and informed retirees feel far more in control. The most dangerous Medicare cost is not the biggest one, it is the one you never saw coming. Medicare changes every year whether you are watching or not. Income matters more than most retirees expect. And healthcare inflation does not stop just because you retired. Knowing how these costs work gives you power. And power is what keeps retirement stable. Awareness today prevents regret later. If there is one thing to remember, it is this: Medicare costs surprise retirees every year because they change every year. Understanding those changes puts control back in your hands. Tell me in the comments what surprised you the most, whether it was Part B increases, IRMAA, or prescription costs. If this helped you, like the video and subscribe to Money Hooks so you don't miss what others overlook. Retirement surprises are easier to handle when you see them coming. And I'll see you in the next one.